Ma'am, are you okay? It's freezing out here. Lisa, hesitant.
I,
I have nowhere to go. My husband left me, and I lost my job. I don't know what to do. James looks at her with genuine concern. Officer James, you shouldn't be out here in this condition. Let me help you. Lisa, teary-eyed. Why would you help a stranger? Officer James, smiling. Because kindness doesn't need a reason. James calls a local shelter, but finds it full. Determined, he takes her to a diner and buys her a warm meal. Lisa, I haven't had a proper meal in days. Thank you. Officer James, you don't have to thank me. Everyone deserves a little kindness. As they eat, James makes some calls. He finds a women's shelter willing to take Lisa in and even helps arrange medical care for her. Lisa, grateful. I don't know how to repay you. Officer James, just promise me one thing. When you're in a better place, help someone else in need. Months later, Lisa, now healthy and with a newborn baby, visits the police station. She hands James a small note that says, "Your kindness gave me a second chance." Scene. Police station. A few months later, Officer James is sitting at his desk, finishing some paperwork. The door opens and Lisa walks in, holding her newborn baby. She looks healthier, happier, and more confident. Officer James, surprised and smiling. Lisa, it's so good to see you. And look at this little one. Lisa, beaming. I wanted to introduce you to my son. His name is James. I named him after you. James looks shocked, his eyes filled with emotion. Officer James. Lisa,
I don't know what to say.
that's an honor I don't deserve. Lisa, smiling. Yes, you do. That night, when I had nothing, you gave me hope. You helped me when no one else would. Because of you, I found a safe place, got medical care, and even started a new job. She hands him an envelope. James opens it to find a small thank you card with the words, "Your kindness gave me a second chance." Officer James, touched. Lisa, this means so much. But you did the hard part. You fought for yourself and your baby. Lisa, maybe, but without you, I wouldn't have had the strength to fight. And I want you to know, I've already started paying it forward. James looks at her curiously. Lisa, proudly, at the shelter, I met a young girl who was in the same position I was in. I helped her find a job and a safe place to stay.
Just like you helped me.
James nods, his heart full. He looks at baby James, who gurgles happily in his mother's arms. Officer James, smiling. That's the best news I've heard all day. Scene. A few years later, a community center. The sun shines brightly over a bustling community center. Children play in a small playground, and volunteers help distribute food and supplies. Inside, Lisa stands in a welcoming area, now a confident and strong woman, assisting a young mother who looks just as lost as she once did. As Lisa hands the woman a pamphlet about available support programs, the front door opens. Officer James, now a little older with a few more gray hairs, walks in, looking around proudly. Lisa, excitedly, Officer James, you made it. Officer James, smiling, of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. He looks around at the center, reading a sign that says, Hope Haven, a safe place for women and children. Founded by Lisa Matthews. Officer James, choking up slightly. Lisa, you did all this? Lisa, nodding, eyes filled with gratitude. I had help, but it started with you. You didn't just save my life that night. You inspired me to help others the way you helped me. James looks around at the volunteers and families, his heart swelling with pride. Just then, a little boy runs up and tugs at his uniform. Little James, now 5 years old. Little James. Uncle Officer James. I want to show you something. James laughs and crouches down as the little boy excitedly pulls him toward a wall covered in framed photographs. The center's journey is displayed. Pictures of Lisa at the shelter, her first community event, and a dedication plaque that reads, "In honor of Officer James Parker, whose kindness changed lives forever." James stares at the plaque, speechless. Lisa stands beside him, smiling warmly. Lisa, you told me to pay it forward. This is just the beginning. James blinks away tears. placing a hand on the plaque. Then he looks at Lisa and little James, smiling proudly. Officer James, softly, I couldn't be prouder. Scene. A few years later, Police Academy graduation. A large crowd gathers in an open-air auditorium. Cadets in crisp uniforms sit in neat rows, waiting to receive their badges. At the front, a banner reads, Police Academy Graduation, Class of 2035. Among the cadets, little James, now Cadet James Parker, 21, sits upright, his eyes scanning the crowd until he spots Officer James, now retired, sitting proudly in the front row next to Lisa. The police chief steps up to the podium. Police chief, today, we welcome a new generation of officers into our ranks. These cadets have trained hard, studied diligently, and embraced the values of honor, integrity, and service. But one cadet's journey is especially inspiring. James looks surprised as the chief continues. Police chief, smiling, many years ago, a simple act of kindness changed the course of a life. A young, struggling woman found hope through the compassion of a police officer. That woman, Lisa Matthews, now runs one of the most successful community centers in the state. And today, her son joins our force to carry on that same legacy. James looks at Lisa, stunned. Lisa squeezes his hand, smiling. Police chief, it is my great honor to present the Outstanding Cadet Award to James Parker, named after the very officer who changed his mother's life. The audience erupts in applause. Cadet James steps onto the stage, shaking the chief's hand before turning toward the crowd. His eyes lock onto his mentor, Officer James. Cadet James, proudly, Officer Parker, sir, this badge isn't just mine. It belongs to you too. Because without you, I wouldn't be standing here today. James, overcome with emotion, stands up and salutes. The entire audience follows, honoring the retired officer's legacy. As the ceremony ends, James walks up to his namesake, placing a hand on his shoulder. Officer James, you're going to make an incredible officer. Just remember, policing isn't just about enforcing the law. It's about protecting, understanding, and showing kindness when the world needs it most. Cadet James, smiling, I learned from the best. The two embrace as Lisa watches, wiping away a tear. The scene fades as the new officers toss their caps into the air, celebrating a new beginning. Final scene, a new beginning. Later that evening, Officer James, Lisa, and Cadet James walk through the city. They pass a park bench, the same one Lisa sat on years ago when her life changed forever. Nearby, a young girl sits alone, looking lost and scared. James and Lisa exchange a knowing glance. Cadet James takes a deep breath, steps forward, and gently speaks. Cadet James. Hey there, are you okay? Do you need help? The girl hesitates but looks up, eyes filled with hope as James offers a warm smile, just like his mentor did years ago. The camera slowly pulls away, showing the cycle of kindness continuing one life, one moment at a time. Scene. 1 year later, Officer James Parker's first day on duty. The city streets buzz with life as morning traffic flows. Cadet James Parker, now Officer James, adjusts his badge in the mirror of his patrol car, taking a deep breath. He glances at a small, worn-out note pinned to his dashboard. It reads, Kindness doesn't need a reason. Officer James Parker. A familiar voice interrupts his thoughts. Lisa, smiling. Nervous? Officer James turns to see his mother standing outside the car, holding 2 coffee cups. She hands him one. Officer James, grinning. A little. First official shift. Feels like a big responsibility. Lisa. That's because it is. But you're ready. And I know someone who'd be really proud of you today. James follows her gaze toward the sky, nodding solemnly. Officer James, the elder, his mentor and namesake, had passed away peacefully a few months ago, leaving behind a legacy that would never be forgotten. Officer James, softly, he taught me everything. Now it's my turn. Lisa places a hand on his shoulder, her eyes filled with pride. Lisa, go make a difference, James.
Just like he did.
James nods and steps into his patrol car. As he pulls away, he turns on the radio. A call comes in. Radio dispatch. Unit 22, we have a welfare check. Report of a young boy alone near the community center. James grips the wheel, his heart tightening. A memory flashes, his mother, sitting alone on that cold park bench years ago. Officer James, into radio.
Copy that.
I'm on my way. Scene. Community center. James parks his patrol car and steps out, spotting a young boy, no older than 7, sitting on the steps of the center, hugging his knees. James approaches gently, crouching to his level. Officer James, softly. Hey, buddy. My name's Officer James. You okay? The boy looks up, hesitant, his eyes filled with uncertainty. Boy, whispering, I don't know where to go. James sits beside him, offering a warm smile, the same smile that once saved his mother. Officer James. That's okay. You're not alone. We'll figure this out together. As James calls for assistance, Lisa steps out of the community center, recognizing the moment immediately. She exchanges a knowing look with her son, pride shining in her eyes. The cycle of kindness continues. The camera slowly zooms out as Officer James leads the boy inside, ensuring he is safe just as his namesake had once done for his mother. Scene, several years later. Promotion ceremony. A grand hall is filled with police officers, community members, and city officials. A banner hangs on the stage, honoring Lieutenant James Parker. Officer James, now in his early 30s, stands proudly in his newly pressed uniform. His mother, Lisa, watches with teary eyes from the front row. The police chief steps up to the podium. Police chief. Today, we recognize an officer whose dedication, compassion, and leadership have left a lasting mark on this city. Lieutenant James Parker has gone above and beyond in serving this community, not just through his police work, but through his kindness, mentorship, and relentless commitment to helping those in need. The audience erupts in applause as James steps up to receive his new badge. Lisa, now a well-respected community leader, claps proudly. After pinning the badge on James's uniform, the chief gestures toward the microphone. Police Chief. Lieutenant Parker, would you like to say a few words? James takes a deep breath and steps forward. Lieutenant James. I never planned to become a police officer. My story didn't start with a dream of wearing this badge. It started on a cold night when a kind officer helped a pregnant woman who had nowhere else to go. That woman was my mother. That officer was my namesake, James Parker. Lisa wipes away a tear as the audience listens intently. Lieutenant James. He taught me that policing isn't just about the law, it's about people. About seeing the person behind the struggle. About knowing that sometimes a simple act of kindness can change someone's entire life. James looks down at the badge on his chest, then back up at the audience. Lieutenant James. I stand here today because of a ripple effect that started with one good man. And I promise to keep that ripple going. The audience stands, applauding. James steps off the stage and embraces his mother. Nearby, a group of young police cadets watch him with admiration, inspired by his words. Final scene. Full circle. A few weeks later, a stormy night. Lieutenant James is on patrol. Rain pours heavily as he drives through a quiet street. Suddenly, his headlights catch the silhouette of a teenage girl sitting alone at a bus stop, hugging her arms for warmth. James pulls over, stepping out of the car and approaching her carefully. Lieutenant James. Hey there. It's pretty late. Are you okay? The girl hesitates before shaking her head. Her voice is small and certain.
Girl,
I have nowhere to go. James looks at her with the same kindness that once saved his mother. He removes his jacket and gently drapes it over her shoulders. Scene, Hope Haven, a new beginning. A cozy and welcoming community center, now expanded and thriving. The walls are lined with photos of success stories, smiling families, women who found stability, and children who grew up in safety. Among them is a framed picture of Officer James Parker, the Elder, with a plaque underneath that reads, "In memory of Officer James Parker, a life dedicated to kindness." Lieutenant James walks in, leading the teenage girl he found at the bus stop the night before. Lisa, now a respected figure in the community, greets them with a warm smile. Lisa gently, "Hi, sweetheart. Welcome to Hope Haven. We're going to help you, okay?" The girl hesitates, then nods, relief flickering in her eyes. James watches, remembering the moment when his mother was once in the same place. Lisa turns to him, pride shining in her gaze. Lisa, softly, "You did exactly what he would have done." James looks up at the framed picture of his mentor, Officer James Parker, and smiles. "Lieutenant James."
It's what he taught me.
The girl follows Lisa inside, disappearing into the warmth and safety of the center. James stands for a moment, taking it all in. His mother's journey, his mentor's impact, his own responsibility to keep the ripple of kindness moving forward. Final scene, legacy lives on. Years later, Police Academy graduation. A new generation of cadets stands in crisp uniforms, their faces filled with excitement and pride. Among them is the teenage girl James helped years ago, now a confident young woman, Cadet Emily Carter. The police chief stands at the podium. Police chief. And now it is my honor to introduce a man who has inspired so many in this department, a leader whose kindness and dedication have changed lives. Please welcome our guest speaker, Lieutenant James Parker. James steps up to the podium, looking out at the sea of young faces. Lieutenant James. Years ago, someone told me that policing isn't just about enforcing the law, it's about people. About knowing when to show strength and when to show kindness. And I believe that's what makes the best officers, not just protecting, but understanding. He scans the crowd and locks eyes with Cadet Emily, who smiles at him with gratitude. The ripple effect continues. Lieutenant James, smiling, "One act of kindness can change a life. And that life can change many more. Today, you are stepping forward to serve, not just with your badge, but with your heart. And I promise you, what you do will matter." The audience erupts into applause. James steps down, shaking hands with cadets, knowing that his mentor's legacy will live on through them. Final shot. A bench at the park. A young police officer, Cadet Emily, now Officer Emily, walks past the same park bench where Lisa once sat, lost and scared. A young boy sits there alone, shivering in the cold. Emily hesitates, then takes a deep breath and approaches, crouching to meet his gaze. Officer Emily, softly, "Hey there. Are you okay?" The boy looks up, his eyes filled with uncertainty.
Boy.
"I don't know where to go." Emily removes her jacket and drapes it over his shoulders, offering a warm smile. "Officer Emily, you're not alone. Let's figure this out together." As she leads him away, the camera slowly pans up to the sky. The cycle of kindness continues, one life, one act, one moment at a time. Screen fades to black. The final words appear. A single act of kindness never truly ends. It becomes a legacy, the Yendi, and a new beginning.